Right, there we go. Hi everyone, welcome to another Broken Meeple episode, and this is a bonus review that I promised I was going to do ever since I did the aftermath on my top 100. There were some games that were mentioned that I thought if I just made the list that little bit later, this game would have featured on that list. And this is probably the biggest one of that, the one that was like, oh my god, yeah, this would have definitely made the top 100 had it literally been like a week or two earlier that I'd been able to get it to the table. This is one that you're probably not going to have heard of though. It's certainly not one that you can get in the UK very easily. You might have to go online and find it from an eBay seller or, from a German market like German Amazon. But, that's not going to be a problem. We'll get onto that. And that is the Palasta de Von Carrara, whatever. It's the Palaces of Carrara. And you probably have not heard of this game. Tom Vassell and Sam Healy did a review on this a long time ago, and it was pretty much like came and went. Disappeared straight away because it didn't get a lot of American and UK distribution. Now, if you want to get hold of this game, you're going to have to get it from a German website more likely, or someone on eBay. But rest assured, this is language independent. Yes, you'll need to print off the rulebook, but you can get the rulebook online from the website or from BGG, and you can get it in full English with pictures and everything, so that is perfectly fine. The only other thing that you'll have to bear in mind is that the board is language independent, your player boards are language independent, the building tiles, doesn't matter if you don't know the English translation for the building, you can see the picture and that's all you need to know, and it's mainly the objective cards. We'll get onto them later, but basically they're written in German. If you don't quite get what they do from the iconography, then like I say, the rulebook, print it out in English, and you'll be fine. You won't need to do any weird fancy setup other than that, so don't be scared off this game just because. But this is a game that easily would have made my top 100, so slight spoiler alert, I do love it. Why though? The Palaces of Carrara is I would like to say a midway Euro game. I wouldn't call this light, I'd say midway. It's a little Euro where you're trying to build buildings and you're using all these coloured blocks to do it with. Now the colour doesn't matter for in terms of, oh, this building needs a specific set of blocks. No, it's more the case that you have a rondelle wheel on the corner of the board that dictates the price of certain bricks. And every time that you want to buy bricks, you'll spin this round, or in the advanced rules you can choose not to. And as you spin it round, you want an ice cream, guys? But as you do so, the bricks go up and down in value, so you can screw over other players or you can try and get a cheap deal. Once you've got these blocks, you will then build buildings in these cities that are on the board. Now, you don't need to have specific colour blocks to build a type of building, you need the blocks in order to build in certain cities. If you want to build in a city that gives the most victory points, then you're going to need white blocks, and white typically is the most expensive block you can get. Whereas if you want to go to the cheapo city, where it's easy to build but doesn't get you as much rewards, then you can use whatever colour block you like. And there's a scaling factor as you go through the cities of which cities accept which colour blocks. Now that sounds fairly generic, you're probably thinking, oh well, I get blocks and I build. But it's very simple mechanics. Here's the crux of this though. You choose when you score. In most Euros, you score at an intermediate level or you score at the very end of the game. And here, yeah, you do score at the end of the game for certain objectives. But you choose when you score your buildings and cities. And that completely blows your mind as to how this game works. Because you can build up in a city that gets you lots of money or gets you lots of points, but it doesn't score for you until you take your turn to say, I'm going to score that city or that type of building. Or that colour of building. You can do that in the advanced rules. And when you do that is key to the game. Because you'll think, well, I could build it up more, or should I get the points now? Because if I don't do it soon, I might lose out on it during the game. And the cities themselves, I mean, you can only score a type of building once, but they're your buildings. You do it when you feel like. The cities, though, are global on the board, and they can only be scored once. So if you wait too long to score a particular city, another player might score it first, and then you've lost out on that particular bonus. So you're constantly looking at everyone else going, alright, well, I've got some in the blue city there. Oi, what do you think you're doing? And you notice someone's in competition with you. Now, are you going to score now and be on the safe side, or are you going to push your luck to hope that you can build lots in that city before your opponent dares to score it? And sometimes you may just score a place just to screw over someone else. But of course, you only have 6 opportunities to score in any game, so are you going to use one of those opportunities that doesn't get you much in the way of bonuses, but screws over your opponent? That's a good tactical decision. Now, you can play this in basic mode or advanced mode. I recommend that maybe you have one game in basic mode just to get the hang of it. But if you were only playing this in basic mode, this game wouldn't be quite as high on my rankings. When you throw in this envelope inside that has the advanced rules in it, it's not much extra to learn. I mean, if you know the basic game, you can easily waltz into the advanced mode. But the advanced mode really changes it up, because not only do you get a couple of extra things you can do on your turn with the rondelle wheel, but you can also build like advanced rank buildings, which are huge good for points and money, but obviously cost a lot to build. But then they give you upgrade tiles where you can place them in a city, and they upgrade the bonus for money or victory points, or even give you an additional one. So it's cool to aim for those. But the best thing about the expansion, random objectives. In the basic mode, you have 3 ways to end the game, because it's not just, oh, play for 6 rounds and the game ends. No, you have 3 conditions you have to meet. And as soon as one player has met all 3 conditions, at any time on their turn, start or end of their turn, they can choose to say, I'm declaring the end of the game. But they don't have to. They can wait before they do it, because they might want to score a couple of cities first, then end the game. But you've got to be watching the other players, because somebody might go, oh god, he could earn the game any minute, I'm not ready. Got to do priorities. He's going to end the game quick. Oh no. And it really can throw you off. But in the advanced mode, you have not only an extra thing to aim for, so a 4th way to score, but you also have random cards for each of the 3 different conditions. Usually one has something to do with scoring, one has something to do with these little object tokens you collect, and one has something to do with the buildings and cities. It kind of varies. But you can shuffle up these decks and draw a random one every game. So you have different combinations of end game conditions and end game scoring every time you play it. And that completely changes the flow of the game. Are you going to go for cheap cities or the really big expensive ones? Well, that depends. Do you get extra points for having lots of cities or just the big ones? Is there a condition where you only have to score 3 or 4 times in order to meet the end of the game? Well, then maybe I'll go for a rush strategy. Just get a few points nice and quick and rush the end of the game. It changes it up so well, and I love them. Honestly, if this was only basic mode, this wouldn't make my top 100. With the advanced mode, it does. Like I say, get into basic first, then straight into advanced mode. Tear up that envelope, chuck the wrapper away, and put the advanced stuff in it. If you're used to Euros, heavier Euros, then you could probably jump straight into advanced mode and you wouldn't have a problem. The component quality is very good. You've got nice little wooden colour bricks, that you can put in everything. The artwork is very nice. It's very colourful, very striking on the table. The rondelle wheel works fine. It's not really a wheel as such. It's more that it is a wheel, but you basically just twist it round. It's not like the arrow thing in Glass Road or some of the other rondelles. But it's a similar mechanic, and certainly if you've played those types of games, it will be instantly familiar to you. But this just flows really well, and it doesn't take long to play. It's 2 to 4 players, works great at all 3 player counts, it scales very nicely, and it says 60 minutes on the box. 2 players could play this in 60 minutes without a problem. 3 or 4 players, I reckon you could do this in 90. There is no reason this game should take you longer than 2 hours. Only if people are APing like crazy should it take you 2 hours. So you should be able to get this done within a 90-minute time frame, 60 to 90 minutes. Maybe just over 90, depending if it's your first game and you're teaching it. But it can end very quickly. So you're not there being dragged on for ages. The downtime is not very long. Your turns will come back round, and you're constantly thinking, When am I going to score that? Is he close to ending the game? He could be. I need to move fast. Oh, hang on. Someone is muscling in on my white city there. Shall I score it next turn? And there'll be a bit of, take that in this, where you'll think, yes, I'm saving up, and then someone scores your city, and you because they scored your city, and now you can't get the points for it. There's a great deal of interaction with this, and a great deal of just natural, smooth, streamlined flow. Nothing in here feels clunky. It feels like it's a neat design, and I forget who designed this. I believe it was famous blokey. Yeah, Wolfgang Kramer and Michael Kiesling designed this. Now, for a lot of you Eurogamers, those two names are instantly familiar. They've done some great popular Euro games. Not necessarily tons that I'm a massive fan of, but they've done some popular titles, you can't deny that. And this is one that just doesn't get the buzz because you can't really find it in the UK. It's pretty much a German market-only game. But certainly, I highly, highly recommend this game. It is not perfect. The fact that I wish it could be full UK language, but that's a minor problem. And certainly I think the advanced mode is maybe just a bit too much to get new players into the game. I probably wouldn't even say this was a gateway game for new players anyway. It's a bit too much in the too much depth here, too much to deal with for new players. It's a good step up though, the basic game. And if you're a proper gamer and you want something a bit more tougher, then throw in the advanced mode and you're pretty good. Multiple paths to victory, multiple ways to play it, multiple types of games just because of those objective cards when you throw in the advanced mode. It's just really solid. I really like this game. I didn't think I was going to be this enamored with it. I saw the review and I thought, that looks good. But then I couldn't find a copy. Then a friend of mine at a local club was able to sell this copy, and despite the bit of a dent and damage, I thought, what did I buy it for? 20 quid? A near perfect game. He hadn't even opened the envelope. He'd literally just played it on basic mode or hadn't even tried the game. I think he just never got it to the table. So for 20 quid, I can suffer with a little bit of a dent on the box, but oh yes, this is a good Euro and has instantly made its way onto my collection. Very solid, and I do highly recommend that you check this out if you see this in a board game library or at a convention, or if you just want, it's not expensive. You can get this fairly cheap on, probably Amazon Germany or whatever, a German board game website. If they can find a copy of this, I don't think it'll be that expensive, but boy, it will get you your money's worth playing this. There's just something about clean, streamlined, variable design, and it's here. It is a great game. If there's anything I'm going to sort of nitpick on, I would probably say that it's better with more players. 2 is okay, but I think it's better with more. And the theme in this is fairly dry. You're building cities and you're scoring them, but yeah, the theme is pretty dry. There's nothing to sort of take this from a thematic game. This is a straight up Euro game. If you're used to that, then no problem. But maybe I would have liked just a little bit more theme in the game. Maybe just a little bit more flavour, but it's a great dry Euro. So, Palaces of Carrara, whatever translation you want to use, I'm going to give this, I don't think I can give this a perfect rating, but I can certainly say that I am giving this a extremely high 9 building bricks. This is such a great Euro game and one that you should definitely try and check out. I know that you're not really going to be able to try this before you buy very easily, but honestly, if you like the designer, or if you're a fan of light to mid Euros that are streamlined and very easy to play, but have a good amount of depth and variety, perfect choice. Palaces of Carrara, one of my favourite Euro games in my collection, and I have no problem expecting that if this was in the top 100, it would have easily made the top half of the list. Sadly, we'll just have to wait till next year and see if it's got the longevity in order to keep going. But certainly for now, loving it. So that's the Palaces of Carrara. If you like what you see, then please subscribe to the YouTube channel or subscribe to my podcast for more, episodes there. But for now, take care, and whether your city falls down by the end of the day because you can't build it very well, it's still only a game. So I'll see you on the next Broken Meeple review. Take care.